In this episode, we are going to consolidate several major themes you have covered: web security risks, coordinated security roles, and security awareness habits. Rather than introducing new content, the goal is to strengthen your ability to recall and apply these ideas quickly. Spaced retrieval means deliberately reconstructing concepts from memory after time has passed, instead of rereading definitions. This matters for the GISF exam because many questions present short scenarios that combine technical weaknesses, human behavior, and organizational gaps. If you can rapidly identify the core risk, the affected role, and the most appropriate control, you will answer more confidently and accurately. Think of this lesson as a structured mental workout. Each scenario prompt is designed to trigger recall of web vulnerabilities, role coordination principles, and awareness habits in a way that mirrors real-world decision-making. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Let's begin with a web risk reconstruction drill. Imagine you are told that a web application allows users to change a number in the address bar to view other users' records. No authentication errors appear, and the server returns the requested data. Without reviewing any notes, identify the likely weakness. This scenario points to broken access control, specifically a failure to enforce authorization on every request. Now extend the retrieval by asking which role should have prevented this. Developers are responsible for enforcing server-side authorization checks, and security reviewers should test for such weaknesses during assessments. Finally, consider awareness. If a user notices unexpected data appearing in their view, reporting it quickly is part of security awareness. This drill reinforces that technical controls, developer responsibility, and user reporting all connect in preventing and detecting data exposure. Now consider an input handling scenario. A web form accepts user comments and later displays them to other users. Soon, users report that strange scripts are running in their browsers when they view certain comments. Without looking back, identify the risk. This aligns with cross-site scripting, where untrusted input is not properly validated or encoded before being displayed. Next, recall the preventive layer. Developers must sanitize or encode user input appropriately, and secure coding practices must be part of the development lifecycle. Finally, consider organizational coordination. If users report unusual browser behavior and the help desk ignores it, detection is delayed. Effective communication between users, IT, and security teams accelerates response. This retrieval exercise strengthens your ability to connect vulnerability type, preventive responsibility, and reporting behavior in a single mental model. Let's shift to a role coordination scenario. Imagine an organization deploys a new SaaS platform quickly to support a business initiative. Weeks later, sensitive files are discovered to be publicly accessible. Without notes, ask yourself what went wrong structurally. The issue likely involves unclear shared responsibility and missing guardrails. Leadership may have prioritized speed without clear security review. IT may not have configured access restrictions. Security may not have been involved in design discussions. This retrieval highlights that posture is not only about technical controls. It is about ensuring that when new systems are adopted, roles are clearly defined and policies are enforced. By reconstructing this scenario mentally, you reinforce the connection between governance and technical risk. Now practice an awareness-focused drill. An employee receives an urgent email from what appears to be a senior executive requesting an immediate wire transfer. The tone is urgent and confidential. Without referencing notes, identify the risk pattern. This is a social engineering attempt relying on urgency and authority manipulation. The key awareness habit is independent verification through a known communication channel. The organizational layer includes having financial workflows that require multi-person approval for transfers. This retrieval connects individual behavior with process guardrails. Even if one person is pressured, a structured workflow prevents catastrophic loss. By recalling both behavioral and structural protections, you strengthen your integrated reasoning. Next, consider session management in a web context. You are told that users remain logged in for long periods, and session tokens do not expire even after logout. Later, unauthorized actions appear tied to those sessions. Without looking back, identify the core risk. Weak session management allows token reuse and potential hijacking. The preventive layer involves secure token generation, expiration, and invalidation. The monitoring layer includes detecting unusual activity associated with existing sessions. Role coordination also matters because developers must implement controls, IT must configure secure settings, and security teams must test session handling. This drill reinforces that web risks are not isolated technical flaws, but part of a larger operational ecosystem. Now integrate web risks with cloud data protection concepts. Imagine a cloud-based collaboration tool allows broad link sharing by default. A user accidentally shares a sensitive document externally. Without revisiting previous lessons, identify what concept applies. This is a sharing control failure in a SaaS workflow. Guardrails such as restricted default sharing, expiration dates, and access approval reduce risk. Awareness habits require users to review sharing settings before distributing files. Leadership and IT must ensure default configurations align with policy. This scenario blends web functionality, cloud configuration, and user behavior. Practicing this blend helps you recognize exam questions that test your ability to see beyond a single-layer explanation. Consider another integrated prompt. An application programming interface endpoint returns full customer records even when only partial information is requested. There is no input validation error, but data exposure occurs. Identify the issue. This is excessive data exposure and improper authorization at the API layer. Developers must enforce data minimization and access control. Security testers must review API endpoints, not just web pages. Monitoring teams should track unusual API request volumes. This drill strengthens your understanding that web security includes both visible interfaces and backend services, and that responsibility is distributed across teams. Now practice prioritization in a coordinated scenario. You receive 2 reports. One user reports a suspicious email link they did not click, and another team reports unexplained access to a shared drive. Without notes, determine which warrants higher urgency. Unexplained data access may indicate active compromise, while a reported but unclicked phishing link suggests a near miss. However, the phishing report still matters because it may indicate a campaign targeting others. Retrieval here reinforces severity and context reasoning, reminding you to weigh impact and likelihood rather than reacting emotionally. Next, reverse engineer an outcome. You learn that proprietary documents have appeared on a public forum. Without details of how they were obtained, reconstruct likely contributing factors. There may have been broken access control in a web app, overly permissive SaaS sharing settings, credential theft through phishing, or insufficient guardrails preventing public exposure. Role coordination gaps may have allowed misconfiguration to persist. Awareness gaps may have prevented early reporting. This backward reasoning integrates multiple lessons into a cohesive story. As you practice these retrieval drills, notice whether you can quickly name the vulnerability type, the affected layer, the responsible role, and the corrective habit or control. If you hesitate, that is normal. The act of struggling slightly to recall strengthens memory pathways. Over time, your mental mapping becomes automatic. You read a short scenario and immediately classify it. Input validation issue, broken authorization, session risk, sharing misconfiguration, social engineering attempt, or coordination failure. That speed is what spaced retrieval is designed to build. By the end of this lesson, your goal is not perfect recall of terminology, but confident reconstruction of relationships. Web risks often stem from trusting input or failing to enforce authorization. Organizational posture depends on clearly defined and coordinated roles. Security awareness habits reduce human-driven risk when supported by structural guardrails. The decision rule to remember is this: when presented with a security scenario, quickly identify the technical weakness, the responsible role or workflow gap, and the awareness habit that could have prevented or detected it before selecting your response.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.